All right, welcome to our final tutorial for the week. And this one, we are just going to implement the mobile money. We are going to do simulate mobile money, right? MTN mobile money. We are going to simulate it. And what are we going to do? So, with MTN mobile money, the person has to enter star 170 hash. So, first of all, we are going to display something to the user, say an input to the user, say, hey, enter the code, right? And then the user enters the code. If the code is wrong, we tell them the code is wrong, and then we'll close the program. But if the code is correct, then we continue. And then if we display the options, usually on MTN when someone enters something star 170 hash, they get some options. So we display those options to them, transfer money, mobile money, pay bill, what. So the part we want to simulate is the transfer the money part, right? So the person wants to send money to another person, right? So so let's go ahead and create a file called momo.py, right? Clear here. Create a file called momo.py. And in this file, the first thing we're going to do is we want to ask the user to enter the momo code. So momo code is a input. Please enter your momo code, and then we'll put something here to make it look nice and all of that. So the momo code we know is what is star 170 hash. So if momo code is equal to star, it's not, we want to say it's not equal to. So there's something I didn't mention, but if you say it's equal to, you use this, but not equal to, you use this sign. I don't know what it's called. I believe it's called a exclamation mark, and then equal to. This is not equal to. If momo code is not equal to, and then we put a string here, and we say star 170 hash. Then we are going to print wrong momo. Yeah, we leave it like that. Else we'll continue with what we want to do, right? Continue with what to do. So the next thing is we want to print the menu to the user. So let's say the menu, and if you remember the three string thing that we did some time ago, with that one we can use it to do a nice menu. So as a one is what transfer money to let's see. So I'm just gonna enter the momo code star 170 hash, and then I'll see. So one is transfer money, two is momo pay and pay bill, three is airtime and bundles, four allow cash out, five financial service. This is where you can borrow money and all of that. My wallet. The last one is my wallet. So my wallet, right? So, and then we are going to print the menu, right? I'm going to print the menu. So let's run this code and see. So Python 3, if you're using Windows, it's just Python with a momo.py. So enter momo code. See if I enter something wrong, Oh, sorry, wrong Momo. So let me make it sensible. Wrong Momo code. Right? Yeah. And, and clear. And run this again. Here is enter ABCD. Sorry, wrong Momo code. Good. That look nice. This is star 170 hash. Uh good. So this looks good. So maybe before we print the menu, let's print another something that says, please select one of the following options, right? To choose your choice. So that should be nice. Star 170 hash. Please select one of the following options. Alright. So this is a little bit offline. Yeah. Okay. So that's working fine up to now. So now we are going to give another input. We say option, we call it option input, and then we say enter your option here, right? We give a little space to make it look nice. So the option would either be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, right? So if option is equal to, now I could convert the option into an integer and say equal to 1, but option is string. So if I want to convert to string, I just say, compare to string, I just say, I put the 1 in quotes, and that, right, compared to string. So for now, say pass. In Python, pass means that don't do anything, just pass. Pass. It's just like speaking. If option is equal to 1, pass, right? And then we have something called elif, right? So let's say you want to add more conditions. So option equals 2. You realize that I'm putting this in quotation mark. If I just leave it, we'll get the error that we had previously, right? So we just leave it here. Pass. We'll come and do something about it later. We can't be typing this like that, so we just copy and paste, right? Oh man, I don't know how I close this thing, but it closed. So let's open it again, and we are back here, right? So copy and paste, and it's called, this one is called mass copy and paste. Copy and paste. So one, you don't be typing plenty. The art of programming is copy and pasting. And then the last one, the else, means that if none of this one pass, then this. So if that means one of the options were not selected, right? So the person did not select one. So the way the if statement work is that if option equal to 1, it will do whatever is here, and then it will forget everything and continue, right? So let's continue with let's go. So wrong value chosen. Look, and I must tell you, look, probably in Momo MTN at the back end, when you enter your things on your phone and it goes, there's some logic like this there, right? So all these things will make very clear sense. But this is the simple logic that could be running MTN behind the scenes, or running whatever. And you understand all of that very soon. So for now, wrong value is chosen, then we'll close. All right. So if the option is 1, so if the person selects then we have to display another menu to the person, isn't it? So we display another menu, and then we ask the person to enter their option again. So menu. So usually you said after you enter 170 hash, let me just check first to check. Oh, this network is taking long, hey. Anytime, oh. And then you enter, you choose one. What happens? It asks you, oh, too many questions. Whether the person is a Momo user, the person is not a Momo user, what. We just care about the two. And then the next one, if it's the person is Momo user, enter the mobile number and then enter the number again. So from here, we'll just be doing our things. Momo user to non-Momo user, right? And then, so the person, we have to ask for the person to select a new option. So if it happens to come here, the person is going to select a new option, and whatever the person selects here will replace the old one that the person chose here, right? So this is how variables work. So for instance, if it were to come here, the person entered 1 here. Now what if the person comes to enter 2 here, it will replace the one that the person initially entered. Why? Because we've told the computer, hey, store this here, and then we tell it again, go and remove what is here and store the new one there, right? So it's the same thing. For instance, if you say, hey, oh, where did you put the hippopotamus? And say in the fridge. Okay, where will you put the giraffe? In the fridge? How would you put the elephant into the fridge? It says, first of all, remove the hippopotamus and the giraffe, and then you put the elephant there. Simple and short. So that's what is happening here. If you create a variable with a particular name, and then you change the name later, whatever you change, you change whatever, you assign it to something else later, it will get the new content, right? So whatever the person entered here, if the code happens to come here, the new stuff will be here. So you just run it. Let's continue on. Get it to make sense. All will make sense soon. So yeah, enter option here. So yeah, that's it. But if the person comes to option 2, that's Momo, and we just print not implemented. Right? So for the rest of them, we are going to print not implemented. So as a task, you can go and say, oh, let me implement it on my own, right? Right. So the user again chooses. So the way the if statement work is that, suppose the option was 1 and then it comes here and the person chooses another option, right? What will happen is that, let me remove this. No, I don't think we need it. What will happen is that the rest of this will be ignored, right? And then we'll come to a new and then it will this one, all of this is related to one if statement, right? So if one of them happens to be true, then the rest will be ignored, right? It doesn't matter, even if it's here and this one is true, then whatever happens here, whatever happens with these guys, we don't care about them because they'll be ignored. So when choose option 2, and then we'll say now mobile, we enter the person's mobile number, right? So we give an input to say, okay, so if option, right, damn it. Okay, so you continue if option so what, so if option equals, so we kind of do the same thing, equals 1 pass for now, if option equals to pass, sorry, it's not if, it's elif. So when I use the elif, if this one is correct, it will ignore the rest. But if I use another if, it will come and do this, and then it will do this again. So we just print the same thing here. Wrong value chosen. Right. So let's just make it this way so that it looks nice. So in that case, the person will enter number. But in this case, I don't want to do like so we just say not implemented. So we are interested in when the person is a Momo user. So the number, you see, you are allowed to enter two numbers, right? So let me just copy and paste, and let me change this. Enter recipient number, right? Enter recipient number, and then number 2. Enter recipient number again, right? Right. And now what we need to do is that, you see, usually in MTN mobile money, if you enter one number and another number and they are not the same, what will they do? Yeah, they'll say that the two numbers don't match. Try again. So if number 1 is not equal to number 2, what we're going to do, we print to the user the two numbers, let me just say numbers don't match. Numbers don't. So if I just want to, let me use double quote so that I can say numbers don't, right? Because if I use single quote, then the computer will be confused as to where to end, right? So it will end here and then another T is here. So that means I need to have another T here. Makes no sense for it. So what you do, if I want to use I want to use exclamation mark or something like this, don't, then I use double quote outside and single quote inside. Don't match it, right? Try again. You don't want to talk too much, right? And then after that, else what should you do? So if the if number 1 is not equal to number 2, print numbers don't match. Try again, right? Other than that, we go to the next stage of what? Amount. So you said input, enter amount to send. I'm going to say once the person enters the amount, we're going to print because I'm tired of this, we have to continue. So we have to create another variable here saying your balance is setting, maybe say a certain number. So what happens is that when a person enters the amount, you can do what we did here. You compare the balance. If the person, like, if the balance if the amount they entered is greater than the balance, then you tell them that they should try again because they don't have enough balance in their account to send that much money, right? But here I will say that amount of something, right? Amount plus, you have to do something like amount sent to plus number. We can use one of the numbers since right now we are sure that they are the same, right? So this is cool. So what have we done here? We say, oh, when you run the code, we ask for the so let me see it into week 1 just instead of talking plenty, and Python. So remember, if you're using Windows, it's just Python So enter one more code, *170#. Enter options, right? Enter one. Oh, we didn't print the menu. Didn't print the menu again. All right. So these are some of the things you will happen when you're writing code. You can just end up making mistakes. Then you have to debug them. 170#. So enter one. Enter recipient number 0243333333. Enter number again 0243333333. Enter amount to send 9999. Amount of 99 sent to 0. Right, so you see that amount of, there was a space because I left a space here, but I didn't leave a space here. Right, so we do that. Now let me show you something about this thing. We've been doing this amount of something plus this. No, we shouldn't be doing that. Actually, in Python there's another type of string, right? If you just write f here before you put your quotation marks, then we can write something similar, amount of, and then we make curly braces, and then we put the variable there, amount, right? With that one we don't have to worry about any other thing. Send to number one. Okay, so this is a neat way of doing this in Python, right? So we run our code again. This is becoming long. 170#. We choose one 0244444444 02444444. Amount to send 300. Right, amount of 3,000 sent to 024444. Right, and in this case we use what is called the F string, right? So we can use it with anything, whether there is a double quote or the single quote, or even whether it's the triple quote, right? The interesting thing is that you can easily use variables inside. Oh man, you can use variables inside here. So to use a variable, you create curly braces, opening, close, and then you put your variable inside. But remember to put the F there before, right? So now let's try to make some mistake. *170#, and let's enter 2. It's not implemented. Okay, *170#. Let's enter 1. So you see here we didn't enter any amount, we just press enter, but it went. So your job now is to check, right? If number, in Python we have a function called len, right? So if you have a string, so let me use this thing to explain it to you first, right? You have a function called len, right? If you have a string, say maybe let me just create a variable, and then I say hello there, right? And I say print len of v. It is going to count the number of letters in v and it will print them. So if I do python 3 first.py, see 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. They are 10. So why? Because this space here is also counted. It is also a character, right? So basically the best thing to say is that it's going to count the characters there and print them one by one. And then next week we are going to go into the loops and all of that. So for this week, I think we'll end it here. Right? And you can go and play around with this Momo thing, try to implement the other things like the money, Momo Pay bill, airtime, cash bundle, and those things using your if statement and all of that. I know we've not learned a lot, but just try to do that with what you can. Then Momo user try to implement the non-Momo user. So when the person enters like a phone number, in this case you display a code that the person can use to go and take the money from the place or something like that. Here, so you go and check if len of number 1, right, it's equal to 0, and we print. It means that the person did not enter anything, right? Because here we should len of v. So if I enter here and I didn't enter anything, and I say first py, it says the len is 0. The len will count the length, and you see this used in Python a lot. So we just want to check if the person really entered something. So what we can do here is that we can add this to this condition, right? If number 1 is not equal to number 2 and the length of number 1 is not equal to 0, so we can either say the length of number 1 sorry, we can either use, so here what we want to say is that if number 1 is not equal to number 2, then we are saying the numbers don't match, and no, not and, or, right, or that or two will not work. So we want to say, hey, yeah, sorry, so so what I want to say is that, look, number 1 is not equal to number 2, elif, right, len of number 1 equals 0, print, again, number not provided, right? So there are people who try to do fishy things, and you can also check if the number is not elif len of number 1 is not equal to 10. I say print invalid number, right? Or since it's empty, and you can try to check if the first 4 numbers are the first 4 number is 024, 05, the first 3 number is 054, 02. Either way, there are a lot of things you can do, but for now this is it. So if I try to run this Momo again and star 170 hash 170 hash 1 enter recipient number 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 enter amount to send 99, amount of 99 sent to 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 0, right? So simple and short. So that is it, and you can go and improve, try to play around with this thing. In the exercise that we have, you have the exercise to simulate, to rather improve the grading system, so you add more rules to it, and also to simulate ATM, right? So for instance, in ATM also, it kind of looks the same as this mobile money thing. When the person goes there, you have to ask the person to enter a certain pin code. If the pin code is wrong, right, then to say pin code is wrong, try again, and then if the pin code is not wrong, it will then ask the person how much are you withdrawing, or what are you doing, are you withdrawing, or you are checking balance. If it's checking balance, then do that. Also try to implement some of these. For instance, if you say allow cash out, try to implement allow cash out, and try to implement maybe my wallet to check the balance and those things. Yeah, so enjoy coding, and we see you again next week. So just take it slow, take your time, don't hesitate to ask any question. All right.